believes imagination leads to creativity, creativity blossom thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge results in innovation. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, IMLN scientist, a renowned aerospace engineer, and a true visionary, a true leader of India's development struggle. We all admire you, sir, for your contribution to the development of science and technology. Pandit RSU, Ravi Shankar University is celebrating this year a golden jubilee year, and sir, your presence amongst us is a matter of great pleasure and honor for all of us. All the faculty members, staff members and students feel honored in welcoming you, sir. I, on their behalf and my own behalf, extend a very hearty welcome to you, sir. I also welcome the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, the distinguished guest present here, the Vice Chancellor of our own university, Oman Lal Sinha, who is physically challenged and holding a Limca Book of World Records, to welcome the Honorable guest.
विश्वविद्यालय के लिए बल्कि रायपुर के इतिहास में डॉक्टर अब्दुल कलाम का हमारे परिसर में दूसरी बार आना एक ऐतिहासिक मित्रों, आप सब उन्हें सुनने आए हो, मुझे नहीं। तो मैं बिल्कुल आपका वक्त नहीं लूंगा, केवल आप सबका मैं इस परिसर में स्वागत करने के लिए यहां खड़ा हूं। मित्रों, डॉक्टर अब्दुल कलाम, जिसको हम मिसाइल मैन के रूप में जानते हैं, यह उनका दूसरा आगमन है। 2004 में कन्वोकेशन एड्रेस देने इसी ऑडिटोरियम में पधारे हुए थे। तब तो ये बहुत सारे बच्चे जो बैठे हैं वो उनका अता पता नहीं था, वो हमारे बीच नहीं थे। लेकिन बच्चों, तुम्हारा सौभाग्य है कि आज ऐसे व्यक्ति को आप सुनने आए हो जिन्हें पूरी दुनिया जानती है, जिन्हें पूरी दुनिया मिसाइल मैन के नाम से जानती है, जिसको भारत देश ने भारत रत्न के रूप में उपाधि देकर के सम्मानित किया है। मित्रों, सर, मैं विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से और पूरे समुदाय की ओर से आपका मैं बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। आई वेलकम यू सर, एंड विदाउट वेस्टिंग ए सिंगल मोमेंट, मैं आपके और आपके बीच में बगैर एक भी सेकंड गुमाए मैं आपको आपके भाषण के लिए आई इनवाइट यू फॉर योर एड्रेस सर।
Friends, good evening to all of you. You know, I am very happy to be in the campus second time. I have come in 2004 here. Can you hear me, all of you? I am happy to be in the campus of Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, which is a tradition of being teaching and research oriented. I am glad to know that every year a number of papers are published in national and industrial journals, and also astronomy observatory is proposed to be commissioned, and I was told it has been commissioned already. I am glad to know that this university is celebrating Golden Jubilee year. It's a Golden Jubilee year. Now, what does it mean? A university like Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University celebrating 50 years. What does it mean? Friends, you know, Earth rotates, our planet Earth rotates its own axis, it takes 24 hours day and night, as you all know. But the same planet yet orbits around the sun. It takes about a year, 1 year. When an organization like Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, it is in planet Earth, have orbited 50 times the sun, and I would like to congratulate all of you for 50 times orbiting around the sun. I greet all the pioneers of Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University and greet teachers and alumni and students. Friends, since Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University has multiple disciplines with 1.9 lakh students and 26 schools of study and 234 affiliated colleges, very big university, I selected a topic for all of you. The topic I have selected is science reciprocating. Science is reciprocating for my address today. You know, investment of individuals, organization in new discoveries and invention, but also add value to different branches of science as human endeavors in different ways. Science comes about due to curiosity of human mind to understand through the queries, thinking, observation, experiment and interpretations. Science enables both individual and teams to progression in knowledge. The more you understand, the more you realize there needs to be found. The efforts of many scientists in the 19th and 20th century have improved the quality of life of human beings in multiple fields in this ensuing decades. Now it is the responsibility of us in 21st century to sow the seeds of science in areas that can benefit humankind, such as renewable energy, water, ecology, environment, brain research, disease prevention. Understanding the human environment and the outer space through science will help us to appreciate and contribute to the global welfare of 21st century and beyond. Now friends, let me start my talk with four-dimensional convergence of technology. Before I go to four-dimensional of convergence technology, I found a lot of young students from schools and also some colleges. I want to say a poem. Will you repeat with me, all of you? Will you? The name of the poem is I Fly. Name of the poem is? What is the name of the poem? I will fly. You are ready? I am born with potential. I am born with goodness and trust. I am born with ideas and dreams. I am born with greatness. I am born with confidence. I am born with courage. I will defeat the problem and succeed. I am born with wings. So, I am not meant for crawling because I have wings. I will fly, I will fly, I will fly. How many of you want to fly? How many of you want to fly? How many of you want to fly? Most of the young fellows want to fly. Okay. Now I am going to the subject. What is called four-dimensional convergence of technology. Everybody can understand this. I am going to put it such a way. You know friends, the information technology and communication technology have already converged, leading to information and communication technology called ICT. It's all you are aware. The information technology combined with the biotechnology has led to the bioinformatics, which you will be studying in your university. Similarly, photonics is grown out from the laboratories to converge with classical electronics and microelectronics, bring in a new high-speed option in consumer products. That's how the flexible and unbreakable displays using the thin layer of film on transparent polymers have emerged as a new symbol of entertainment and media tools. Now all you friends have to come across, science students, what's called nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is coming. It is the field of the future that will replace microelectronics, many fields with a tremendous application potential in the areas of medicine, electronics and material science. I am sure about the use of nanorobot for drug delivery. When nanotechnology and ICT meet, integrated silicon electronics, photonics are born, and it can be said that material convergence will happen. With material convergence and biotechnology linked, a new science called intelligent bioscience will be born, which will lead to a disease-free, happy and more intelligent human habitat with a longevity and high human capacities. Convergence of bio, nano, info technologies can lead to the development of a nanorobots. Nanorobots, when they are injected into a patient, my expert friends say that they will diagnose and deliver the treatment exclusively in the affected areas, and then the nanorobot gets digested and is a DNA-based product. I saw the product sample, one of the laboratories in South Korea, where best of minds with multiple technology work with the target of finding out-of-box solution. Now let us look what is science reciprocating, what does it mean? Let me give an example. Some time back, I was in the Harvard University, where I visited laboratories of many eminent professors from the Harvard School of Engineering and Applied Science. I recall how Professor Hong Kun Park showed me his invention of nano needles, which can pierce and deliver content into individual target cells. That's how nanoparticle science shaping the bioscience. Then I met Professor Vinod Manoharan of Harvard University, who showed me on the other hand in his laboratory, bioscience are in turn shaping nanomaterial science as well. He is using DNA material to design itself assembling particles. When particular type of DNA is applied on a particle at the atomic level, he is able to generate a prefixed behavior and an automatic assembly from them. This could be our answer to self-assembly of devices and colonies and deep space. Thus friends, I want to tell the university, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, thus within a single research building, I saw how two different sciences are shaping each other without any iron curtain between the technologies. This reciprocating contribution of sciences to one another is going to shape our future, and industry needs to be ready for it. Now the next area, of course, now a new trend is emerging. What is the new trend? The aspect being introduced, that of ecology. Globally, the demand is shifting towards development of a sustainable system which are technologically superior. And this is the new dimension of the 21st century knowledge society, where science, technology and the environment will have to go together. Thus the new age model would be a four-dimensional bioscience, nanoscience, infoscience and eco-based, environment-based. When I see a large number of students, let me share how unique minds were responsible for a great events in human history. I want to see every one of you to become every young fellow who has assembled here and upstairs. You should become a unique you. I am going to tell you how. Friends, to be remembered for you how to be unique, that is unique you, let us study together certain unique events by unique achievers. Will all of you participate in the exercise? You participate. We are going to do a small exercise. Dear friends, young friends, just look up. You look up everywhere the lights here. And of course Chhattisgarh, no power cut, everywhere power I see, isn't it? You have everywhere power. So very good. So when you look at the light and bulb, whom do you remember? Light and bulb, whom do you remember? You have to remember one guy. Who is that? Very good. You see that, children? Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Alva Edison, for his unique contribution toward the invention of the electric bulb and his electrical lighting system. When the aircraft flying over you every day, you remember two fellows. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Wright brothers. You speak loudly, Wright brothers. Now when the telephone bell rings, whom do you remember? Very good, Alexander Graham Bell. You remember, 1885, he discovered telephone. At that time, he did not have a laboratory. His brain has become a laboratory. He assembled the telephone, went to market, got the devices and assembled. So, 1885, he is the person who discovered the telephone. So, when the bell rings, you remember him. Now, there was one great Indian scientist. He was traveling from London in 1930s. In those days, no aircraft. Ship he was traveling. 1930, when he came to Calcutta, he was traveling in London to Calcutta. When he was in the ship, he saw sun was shining one evening and looked at the sky, at the horizon. Sky was blue and sea was blue. He asked a question, why sky is blue, what sea is blue? But that question has to be answered after 7 years of hard work he has to do in the National Science Laboratory in Calcutta for 7 years. Then we found out the reason. It's because of scattering of the light, back scattering of the light. He got a Nobel Prize. Can you think of a person? Sir C.V. Raman discovered back scattering of light and he got it. Now friends, a great mathematician India produced, but India could not recognize him at the right time, and he wrote exam, in those days intermediate. When he wrote exam, he failed all the subjects except mathematics. Mathematics teacher, when he evaluated his paper, he put 110 for 100, okay, so good. Now, but he used to write papers, and it appears in all journals. Then Hardy, Professor Hardy of Cambridge University located him, lifted him from Kumbakonam to London, and he became a famous mathematician in number theory. In number theory, famous mathematician, can you remember? Srinivasa Ramanujan, okay, Srinivasa Ramanujan. And he became one of the biggest authority in number theory even now.